But the funny thing was, if you were wearing these shirts, every other professional biker that you met thought from a distance you were one of them, so they'd all be saying hi and waving, and then they'd get close and see who all the sponsors were. Pollinator shop. This bit is actually about the 60s, when I had a boutique, King 22, and we made mini skirts, and that was very popular. I wore a lot of wigs, so in the end I shaved my head. Then suddenly all the work and the boutique got a bit much, because it was just every Saturday we'd be sold out. So we changed it into a tea house, where we just sold tea. But if you see here, a few months later already, police in closed tea house Cleo de Miro. Tea house closed by the police. So then me and my daughter, I wanted to go to India, and we set off hitchhiking, and that was a miraculous trip through Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, all the way into India. And I ended up living there for 14 years. In the summers we were up in the Himalayas, and I loved trekking, and we went up amazing places. And in the winter we'd be in Goa, where there was parties and beaches, and it was a perfect life. Here's a cabinet with all my prizes. There's some nice ones in there. Yeah, that's for a film that was made. Won the first prize. This is some gifts I got from people. But these are serious prizes from the High Times, Best 100 in the cannabis industry, and then that one's, I think, Lifetime Achievement Award. Here's a Global Cannabis Legalization Award. Here we come to the part about the hemp hotel. When I came back from India, we managed to get this small hotel with just 5 bedrooms, and we could rent it, and we did. And it was a wonderful place. It had a night bar open till 3 in the morning. In the rooms we had a marijuana plant during the summertime, and whoever stayed there would have to come down once a week to get the nutrients. In the middle actually is a collage of my kids, because after all they also take a large part of my life. Then I had a knitting company while I was in India, and we had 60 ladies hand knitting sweaters, and we dyed the wool ourselves with plant matter. I did some Tibetan studies, learned the language, learned to draw, and learned to paint. First I started to grow, and this is actually the only piece of any grow photographs, but that was my last grow actually. It was a greenhouse, and here's the joining newspaper which says harsh greenhouse as big as a football field. These are actually some newspaper headlines from the early 90s. Police, hash no longer punishable. Police advises the government to stimulate the growth of nader weed, Dutch weed. Nader weed is becoming big business. Anyway, so everybody thought it would get legal soon, but it still isn't. But because of growing and the lack of nice hash, I started making my own, and in the end I developed a pollinator, which is a dry sift method. Then here's the Isolator. Here's the coffee shop that had a whole list only of Isolator hash, and with different people and different hash. This is my 70th birthday. I went to Kazakhstan by invitation of the government for a few times, and This is actually my house there. And in Kazakhstan, you have 1,200,000 hectares of wild marijuana growing. But it kind of grows like this, while here we're stuck in the sand. And here we have the Hall of Fame. This is a world map with everywhere where we've sent either a pollinator, isolator, or bubbleator to. And these are worldwide. Some samples that people have sent, and they're really from all over. Finland, I see, from Laos to Zurich to Amsterdam. That one's from Amsterdam, that one's Kazakhstan, France, Holland, Spain, everywhere. They're from all over. Then I decided when I was 69 to organize a party, and I called it the Dabbadoo because it was going to be do for dabbing. And that started in Amsterdam 2013. And since then I've done all the way along the outside, all the different Dabbadoos we did. Yeah, this one was magnificent. I hired a helicopter in Colombia and took me there in a helicopter and rented it the whole day so everybody could take. And this is a Dabbadoo in Mexico at the Extreme Sports Center, also on top of a mountain. I've paraglided off that mountain, but there have been more memorable ones. Here's in San Francisco. Anyway, Dabbadoos are always fun because you have between 100 and 200 lovers of hashish together, and there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of friendships, and it's become its own like little tribe in the world. Anyway, that's the Dabbadoo. Times I joined a medical cannabis bike tour, and this was the jacket you could wear, and as you see it was sponsored by a lot of different companies. Barney's Farm, Soft Secret, Paradise Seed, Grow, Snail, Mr. Nice. And it would be fun. You had to cycle 420 kilometers in 3 days. And in every hotel we stopped on the way, there'd always be problems. Somebody be caught smoking in their room. But it was very nice. It wasn't who won. So if anyone found a really nice spot in the shade, sat down to have a joint, soon like 20 others would join him and just sit there and arrive later. But the funny thing was, if you were wearing these shirts, every other professional biker that you met thought from a distance you were one of them, so they'd all be saying hi and waving, and then they'd get close and see who all the sponsors were. So yeah. And this is 420 kilometers through Holland, Belgium, and Germany. I must say they also had vans, repair vans, in case somebody got a flat tire or something. But also they'd sometimes take me along, because a third of 420 kilometers a day was a little beyond my measure in cycling. And they'd always put me out the van like 5 kilometers before the end of the day hotel where we'd be staying, so at least I'd arrive on the bicycle and not in the van. It was great. I stopped doing it. Well, it's nice for me, you know. They say old ladies like to sit surrounded by their memories, so I am.